You ever notice how the apps we loved the most slowly turned into ad factories? Like, you open the app, and before you even get to do anything, boom, watch this 30-second ad. And the crazy part? Most of these apps didn't even start with ads. They were smooth, fast, clean, and honestly kind of wholesome. Then, somewhere along the way, the developers decided just to add annoying ads. There was a time when you could play a game, listen to music, edit a photo, without watching 30 seconds of someone trying to sell you toothpaste, insurance, or a crypto scam. Millions of people stopped using some of the most popular apps, not because they got bad, but because ads became the main feature. But here's where it gets interesting. There's actually a reason why all of this happened, and it's way deeper than just they got greedy. I found out how much money some of these apps make just from ads, and when I saw the numbers, I didn't know whether to be impressed or insulted. So today, we're going to look at some of the most popular apps we all used every single day until ads completely ruined them. So here's something most people don't realize. We didn't just get annoyed by ads. We actually started uninstalling apps because of them. There's data on this. A study by Airship, a customer experience platform, showed that 30% of users delete apps specifically because of too many in-app ads. More than a quarter. That means ads aren't just irritating, they're literally killing apps. And here's what's crazy. Most of these apps didn't even have ads when they launched. They were fast, simple, lightweight, and honestly, some of them were the best versions of themselves back then. But slowly, updates came in, and with every update, ads walked in like unwanted guests that just never left. And the even bigger question is why? Why did the apps we loved, apps with millions of users, willingly ruin their own user experience? Well, here's the thing nobody tells you. Attention is more valuable than money. Because in the app world, attention is money. Your clicks and your watch time are all part of a system called the attention economy. The more time they can keep you on screen, the more ads they can show, the more dollars they make. So what started as just a few ads slowly turned into a business model, a full-blown strategy. And if you think I'm exaggerating, here's the proof. State of App Revenue Report from data.ai. In 2022 alone, mobile apps generated over $300 billion worldwide. Advertising accounted for 66.8% of this. Not app purchases, not subscriptions, just ads. That's more money than the entire movie industry made that year. So this video isn't just about us being annoyed. It's about understanding how a business model changed, how the apps changed, and how we, the users, got caught in the crossfire. And the most surprising part? Some of these apps didn't even want to add ads. They were forced to, by investors, by the market, and by something we'll get into later called the freemium trap. So let's look at which apps started great, and when did everything change? There was a time, not that long ago, when some of the world's most popular apps actually felt good, clean, simple, and friendly. They were places where people went to learn, listen, watch, or work without dozens of interruptions. But slowly, almost quietly, a new pattern started to appear, one that has spread across nearly every major app. Ads. More ads. Longer ads. Louder ads. Ads that pop up, ads that block you, ads that punish you for not paying. And one by one, the apps we once used every day started to change. Take Duolingo. It used to be this wholesome, free language learning tool that people genuinely loved. You'd hop in, do a few lessons, feed the owl some XP, and go on with your day. But now it feels like you need to fight through a wall of ads just to learn how to say hello. Every few questions, another ad. Make a mistake? Ad. Finish a lesson? Even more ads. One user bitterly complained about how the ads are getting out of hand. And the features that were once free, such as unlimited hearts, offline learning, and advanced tools, are now locked behind a subscription. The cheerful green owl didn't just remind you to practice anymore, now it reminds you to pay. And then there's Spotify. Remember when Spotify ads used to be short, almost playful? Hey, it's Spotify, get premium. And you'd shrug it off. Compare that to today, where the ads feel twice as long, twice as frequent, and 10 times louder than the actual music. You hit shuffle, and it feels like Spotify is shuffling ads more aggressively than songs. Worse, the free version is almost intentionally inconvenient. But maybe the biggest example of all is YouTube. Years ago, watching YouTube felt instant. You tapped a video, and it just played. No interruptions, no warnings, no forced ads. But now, you're fighting through two unskippables at the start, ads in the middle, ads at the end, banner ads, pop-up ads, sponsored segments, and increasingly aggressive reminders to buy YouTube Premium. And the truth is, YouTube didn't get more greedy. They got more algorithmic. Every second online is a chance to turn attention into money, and YouTube has mastered the art of squeezing every moment for revenue. In fact, recently, YouTube has increased its ad frequency, and many users are now complaining. One user posted on Reddit, "There are back-to-back unskippable ads, sometimes even 2 long ads in a row." Even productivity apps weren't spared. Look at WPS Office. People loved it because it was a lightweight, free alternative to Microsoft Office. It was simple, clean, and best of all, no subscription needed. But today, trying to edit a document in WPS feels like stepping through a minefield of pop-ups. Ads for cloud services, ads for templates, ads before opening files. The app that once felt like a safe haven for students and everyday users slowly transformed into a billboard disguised as a word processor. Remember Angry Birds? That game was everywhere. No tutorial needed, no sign-up, just tap, launch, and instant fun. It was the perfect one more level game. What made it great, before ads, is fast loading, smooth gameplay, no interruptions. You could fail a level 10 times and just restart, no questions asked. What changed? Slowly, banner ads appeared, then pop-ups, then unskippable video ads after every few levels. Back then, in its early days, Angry Birds wasn't free. It cost just 99 cents, and that was enough to unlock everything. No ads, no interruptions, no pop-ups asking for money, just pure gameplay. It worked. In fact, it worked incredibly well. Back then, Revio, the company behind Angry Birds, sold over 12 million paid downloads in its first few years, only on iOS. That's roughly $9 to $10 million in revenue just from people willing to buy the game once and enjoy it forever. But soon, everything changed. In 2017, Revio stated offering a free version, but with ads. The paid version didn't fail, it just didn't scale. As the mobile app market evolved, free-to-play apps started dominating the charts. People began expecting everything to be free. Games like Candy Crush, Subway Surfers, and Clash of Clans, all free, but loaded with ads and in-app purchases. Paid games slowly disappeared from the top charts, not because they were bad, but because the average user now sees 99 cents as too expensive. And so Revio made a decision, remove the paid version and make Angry Birds 100% free, but with ads and microtransactions. In 2017 alone, Revio made 297 million euros from games. The majority was from ad-based revenue and in-app purchases. And that's the moment everything changed, not just for Angry Birds, but for the entire mobile gaming industry. Subway Surfer, Temple Run, and Candy Crush are all now ad junk. So many popular apps we used to love.
And the most frustrating part is that some of these developers make false advertisements just to attract more users into the ad junk. A typical developer is Playrix, the developers behind Homescapes and Gardenscapes. Gardenscapes, one of the most heavily advertised games ever made, became famous not for what it offered, but for what it promised. The ads showed rescue missions, IQ tests, life or death choices, a game that looked like a clever strategy challenge. But the actual game? A Match 3 garden renovation simulator. Nothing related to what is advertised. No lava, no traps, nothing. Just tiles, flowers, and a cheerful man named Austin. But the deception wasn't sloppy, it was deliberate. These ads were engineered to trigger frustration. They intentionally fail the puzzle in front of you. They pull the wrong lever, they do the wrong action. They know it'll annoy you. They know you'll think, that's not how you do it. That frustration becomes curiosity. That curiosity becomes a click, and that click turns into money. And yet, this strategy pushed things too far. In 2020, the UK Advertising Standards Authority officially ruled that gardenscapes and homescapes were misleading users. The ads were declared deceptive, and both companies were ordered to remove them. The message was clear. This wasn't marketing anymore, it was manipulation. But here's the surprising twist. Even after being legally called out, the system didn't stop. The ads changed slightly, the puzzles became less extreme, but the formula stayed the same. Because the truth is, false ads work. They don't need to deliver on their promise, they just need to get you to download. And that business model made millions. In 2019, Gardenscapes alone has generated over $1.5 billion in lifetime revenue, not because players loved the game, but because enough people installed it, even if just for a day. The modern mobile gaming industry doesn't chase loyalty anymore. It chases downloads, ad views, and short-term retention. Not gameplay, metrics.
Okay, let's stop blaming the ads for a second and look at why these apps are becoming more aggressive with ads. When an app doesn't charge users directly, it needs another way to pay the bills. That way is attention. Ads monetize attention. The more time you spend on screen, the more ad views, hence the more revenue. Simple. YouTube, for example, supports over 2.7 billion monthly active users, according to recent estimates. Only a small fraction of them, roughly 100 million, pay for YouTube Premium. That means more than 96% of YouTube's audience is on the free, ad-supported version. Spotify's story is similar. In Q2 2025, their reported monthly active users stood at 696 million, with 433 million on the ad-supported free tier. And Duolingo, as of late 2024, had over 113 million monthly active users and 8.6 million paid subscribers. The remaining 100 million plus are free users. To understand why ads are so omnipresent on these platforms, we need to look at the economics behind them. YouTube's ad business is very big. In 2024, the platform generated over $36 billion in ad revenue alone. That ad engine is not just padding YouTube's bottom line, it's central to how the platform scales. With billions watching for free, the attention of that audience becomes the product sold to advertisers. Meanwhile, Spotify's ad-supported tier contributes meaningfully, even if most of its income comes from subscriptions. In Q2 2025, ad-supported revenue accounted for 453 million euros of Spotify's 4.193 billion euros in total revenue. But despite that growth, ads are still a relatively small piece of Spotify's financial pie. Only about 11% of its revenue comes from ads. Duolingo, too, depends on its freemium model. In 2023, it generated $531 million in total revenue. Though subscriptions drive much of this, ads remain a vital stream. For a majority of its users who refuse to pay, ad revenue is how the company stays afloat and continues to scale globally. Here lies a fundamental tension. The more ad-supported users there are, the more ad revenue the platform can extract. These platforms create friction in the free tier to irritate you, slow your experience, or block convenient features. Why do they do that?
because friction increases the chances you'll pay. A good example is how YouTube keeps adding more unskippable ads. This is not accidental, it's strategic. From a user's perspective, ad frequency can be frustrating. But from the company's vantage point, ad aggression is a rational design to scale the required revenue. With billions of free plans, only ads can monetize those users because running YouTube servers, licensing music for Spotify costs enormous money. Ads help offset those costs for free tier users. However, what we users don't like is how aggressive these ads are becoming. As ad loads increase, we users may feel exploited, and the apps keep on getting crappy and annoying for that. Additionally, app platforms prioritize generating more revenue to please investors rather than solely focusing on quality.
All right, so at this point, you might be thinking, is there even a way out of this? Like, are ads just the inevitable future? Well, yes and no. Ads are not disappearing. Not today, not next year, because the entire business model of most apps is built around them. But there are ways to fight back. One of the best ways to fight back is to use ad blockers. There's a reason ad blockers have suddenly become one of the most downloaded browser extensions and apps. It didn't happen randomly, and it definitely didn't happen because people woke up one morning and decided they hated advertising. It happened because the internet changed, apps changed, websites changed, and the ads, well, the ads didn't just increase, they took over. Think about how the average online experience feels today. You open a website, and before the page even loads, there's a pop-up asking you to subscribe. Then a banner slides in from the bottom, then another from the top. Then a video auto-plays on the side, blasting audio you didn't ask for. You scroll, and suddenly the entire page shifts because an ad loaded late and pushed everything down. You try to close it, but the X is microscopic, and half the time you end up clicking the ad instead. It became ridiculous. Everywhere you look, every tap, every scroll, someone is trying to sell you something. People didn't just get annoyed, they got exhausted. The internet stopped feeling like a place to explore and started feeling like a marketplace with no exit. And when people get tired, they push back. That's where ad blockers come in. They're not just tools, they've become a form of digital self-defense. At first, ad blockers were used by a small group of tech-savvy people who wanted cleaner web pages. But the moment ads became more aggressive, more intrusive, and more unskippable, millions of everyday users started installing them too. According to Global Web Index, 47% of internet users globally use an ad blocker today. Because why sit through 20 ads an hour on YouTube when you could block them? Why deal with banners covering half your screen when one extension removes them instantly? People didn't suddenly become anti-ad, they became anti-interruption, anti-clutter, and anti-being forced into paying. And companies indirectly fueled this movement by making ads unbearable. If ads had stayed simple and respectful, nobody would have cared. But companies got greedy. They bombarded users. They stacked ads on top of ads until the experience broke. And when users finally snapped, they found a solution that gave them their internet back. Ad blockers didn't rise because people wanted to cheat platforms. They rose because platforms pushed people to their limit. And now, ad blockers are so popular that some companies are panicking. YouTube is trying to combat ad blockers by increasing ad frequency and duration, as well as implementing tactics like making the platform work poorly for ad blocker users. Some websites are blocking users who use them. Pop-ups now beg you to disable your ad blocker just to read an article. But the truth is, people wouldn't need ad blockers if the internet hadn't become such a chaotic mess in the first place. In the end, it comes down to one thing. If an app is free, someone is paying. And if it's not you, it's probably your attention being sold to someone else. So maybe the real question isn't, can we escape ads? Maybe it's, are we okay with apps controlling our time if they're free? Because if we don't ask that now, the apps will answer it for us. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, click like, and turn on notifications.